Hello and welcome to Rain's Kitchen and Garden. My name is Rain. Today I'm making sweet carrot muffins. This is part of my bread baking series where I'm baking every one of the 40 recipes from the Williams Sonoma collection cookbook titled Bread. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, let's make these carrot muffins. I actually cut this recipe in half, so you might hear some odd sounding measurements. I have in the description below a link to the original recipe as well as a link to my recipe. What I'm doing right now, because it's half of the recipe, I'm probably going to get 7 or 8 muffins out of this recipe. The first thing I did was I preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 180 Celsius or gas mark 4. And my muffin tin, what I did was I buttered and then I put a baking cup in. And I just learned this tip recently actually. If you're making muffins or anything in a muffin tin and you've got some empty ones, fill them with water so that you don't warp your pan. Now I didn't know that, so I'm doing that for the first time today. And I've got a bowl here. I'm going to start with my ingredients. Now in this bowl, I'm going to put 2 large eggs. And I've got some extra light tasting olive oil here. I have a 1/4 cup plus 1/8 of a cup of this light tasting olive oil. That's about 90 milliliters. Like I said, you might hear some funny sounding measurements because I have halved the recipe. And I've got 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's about 4 grams. And I'm going to whisk this until it's smooth and slightly thickened for about a minute. Okay, that has thickened up. It's almost the consistency of when you're starting to make mayonnaise. I don't know if any of you make your own mayonnaise out there, but basically you use olive oil and eggs and you really whisk it hard and it becomes mayo. So there we go. I'm going to put that aside for now. I have another bowl here where I'm going to put my dry ingredients. So in this bowl I've got some unbleached all-purpose flour. I have 1 cup. That's 157 grams. And I've got some brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon. I think it would be much easier to measure this in grams, but if you use cups, it's 3/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon or 220 grams of brown sugar. I have some salt here, 1/4 of a teaspoon, 3 grams. In this little bowl, I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. The baking powder is 2 grams and the baking soda is 3 grams. And they are the same, 1/2 teaspoon, but baking powder is a little heavier, or a little lighter, I should say. So I've got some cinnamon here. I have 1/4 of a teaspoon, and that's about 0.7 grams. I have cut down the spices big time because I'm not a big fan of very spicy food, especially these warm spices like cinnamon, allspice, clove, things like that. They actually give me a little bit of heartburn, so I always cut down on that. So I'm going to combine that until it's nice and well combined, and I'm going to kind of take one of my little containers here and I'm going to crush that brown sugar a little bit to get the lumps out. Okay, it's just a little tip for you. If you see a clump, just press it down. If it's too hard for your spatula, then grab something metal like a spoon, or like I said, one of the measuring cups that you've used works very well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is gradually add my dry mixture into the egg mixture. Just gradually, a little bit at a time. and I'm going to whisk that up each time. Oh, it smells really good with that cinnamon. It's getting thick. I'll put the rest in. It's getting a little thick here to whisk, so I'm going to switch to my spatula. There, all right. Got most of that out. So I'm going to scrape the sides down. Try to mix all that flour in. It's a little tough right now, but as soon as we add the carrots, it'll become a smoother consistency that'll be easier to mix. Scrape the bottom too to make sure there's no flour in the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to pour all of my carrots in, and I always add more than what's called for in a recipe that calls for, you know, like banana bread or zucchini bread or carrot muffins or apple muffins, because I think that the fruit or vegetable gives it a lot of moisture and you have a nice moist product after. So I always add a little more than the recipe calls for. I have 2 cups of shredded carrots here. That's 185 grams. And just to give you an idea, it's 2 large carrots. And I'm folding this until it's just combined. And for those of you who don't know what folding is, this is what it is. You pick up a bit and fold it over. Pick up a bit and fold it over. Okay? Scraping down the sides a little bit as I go. Just want to get it, as we say, just combined. Okay, as you can see, this is just combined. So we're ready to put the batter into our muffin cups. There we go. Now what you want to do is you want to spoon the batter into the muffin cups about 3/4 full. Now I'd love to make this look nice and clean and beautiful for you, but the fact is I need my finger to push the batter off. So we're going to have battery fingers here, but this is the reality. I pretend and I say this is reality TV, which it kind of is. You know, I'm not a professional baker. I cook from my kitchen, my small little cottage kitchen. It's tiny, and I use what I have on hand. I don't have fancy equipment, fancy ingredients. I do what I can here. Okay, now there might be a little mess. There we go. Yeah, I'm making a little mess, but I'll clean that off after. 3/4 full. I may get extras because I put more carrots in. So I may have prematurely put water into those muffin cups. I might need them. That's a little more than 3/4, but that's okay. I don't mind if the muffins spill over the top. I like those muffin tops. just get 8 here. Let me just scrape down the bowl. I have a little bit left. I'm going to just put a little bit in each one. And yes, I know they're more than 3/4 full, but that's all right. Let's see how this turns out. There we go. I got most of the batter. I got pretty much all the batter there. Now, I have a little bit of a cup of water just to rinse my fingers here. And a paper towel, because what I want to do is wipe up the excess, because you don't want any of that batter on the top of the pan, because it will burn. There we go. And a little piece here. Well, I managed to get 8 muffins, 8 muffin cups filled with the batter, and they are a little high, but we're going to see what happens. Move that over a little. I'm taking a look now just to make sure there's no batter sitting on top of the pan. Okay, I'm going to bake this about 20 to 25 minutes. And what I'm going to do is put in a toothpick after 20 minutes. And if it comes out clean, then I know that the muffin is done. If there is batter on it or there's crumbs, I'll put it in for 5 more minutes, test 5 more minutes type of thing. Basically, you want it to be springy to the touch, but also so that the toothpick comes out clean from the middle. So into the oven this goes. Here are my muffins. The house smells amazing. These took 30 minutes in the oven, okay? And what I did was at the 20-minute mark, I put a toothpick into the middle and I pulled it out and there was some batter. I did the same thing at the 25-minute mark and there were some crumbs, and now at the 30-minute mark, my carrot muffins are done because they've come out completely clean. You see, there are no crumbs at all on my toothpick. So what I'm going to do is, while they're warm, I'm just going to separate them, okay? And push them a little bit off of the top of the pan, just so that they're easy to come out, because I did fill them more than was, suggested in the recipe. So I just want to make sure it's easy on me when they come out. And what I'm going to do is let them sit in the pan for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put the pan on top of my cooling rack until they're completely cooled. And after that, I'm going to try one. I can't wait. These are so good. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, my friends. Leave me a comment. I love to read your comments, and I do reply to them. Let me know if you try this recipe, or if you like carrot muffins. Do you put any other spices in yours? I always like to learn from other people. I almost said other bakers, but we're not bakers, we're just people. We're not professionals here. We're just having fun in our kitchen. And don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. It means a lot to me. So we'll see you next time on Rain's Kitchen and Garden. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.